The Maxim's male and the Piccadilly female have been mating for the last few days. So it's a cool, cloudy, gusty morning this morning. A little relief from what's been a pretty warm week as we enter into the summertime. That's not what's got us excited. The Maxim's male and the Piccadilly female have been mating for the last few days. This morning we've joined Keegan and Patrick with them while they're in a little bit of a guarri thicket. Looks like the female's feeding on something, the male's just lying out in the open, allowing us some pretty awesome opportunities to get some shots of him, because so often it's a fleeting glimpse as he moves away from us. But now he seems pretty relaxed, and I'm sure that's because he's got something else on his mind, having the presence of a female around here. We are pretty far south into the Maxim's male's territory. That means nothing to the male. However, the Piccadilly female is normally seen along the Sand River, sort of north of our eastern corner, going up into Marthley, around Stwyce, Koppies and Malamala. So for her to be as far south down here, it's quite a long way out of her territory. As a bit of a strategy that the females employ, they'll move around and try and mate with all of the dominant males that surround their territory. Because if they have now mated with all of the males believe that the cubs she gives birth to are his, and therefore they have a vested interest in trying to protect those cubs and at least defend them from any other rivals. So it's a pretty smart tactic from the females. However, often in that pursuit of trying to find the other dominant males, that leads the female quite far out of her territory into other rival females' territories, where she could then have a run-in with those females and could prove to be quite costly. That's not the case today. They have been mating for about 3 days now. As a second bout of mating, they were seen mating about 2 weeks ago. And it's been a pretty rigorous affair for them, mating every couple of minutes as they're now moving through some of the thicker vegetation out into some of the openings or clearings. They are pretty busy this morning, and watching leopards or lions mate is quite a noisy, vocal, aggressive affair. That's because the male has a few barbs on his penis. That, with the multiple repeated copulations with the female, then induces her to ovulate. So they will copulate multiple times over a 4 or 5 day period. Eventually on about day 3 or 4, sometimes day 5, she ovulates, releases an egg, and he then is able to conceive, or she's able to conceive. He's able to fertilize that egg, allowing her to conceive a new litter. This is also a little evolutionary trait that has allowed the female to prove that the male is the most dominant in the area. He is fit and healthy, and because it's so noisy, those noises will often attract in any other rival males in the area. So if the male that's with her is able to mate with her for those 4 or 5 days and stay there the entire duration of that, he's likely to be the dominant male in the area. We know for sure that it is the Maxim's male around here. He is an enormous male. Very big dewlap. Almost a bouldering neck. Makes his head look quite small. And you can just see the size comparison between him and her. This is some pretty good genetics. Both of them have a very rich golden coat. And so I look forward to seeing what the cubs will look like in the future. That's obviously only in about 3.5 months' time, but it's good for us to now pencil down these dates so that we know roughly when to start looking for cubs. We don't see the Piccadilly female all too often, but you never know, she may start shifting a little bit further onto Londolozi with the Plaque Rock female no longer being around. So spending time with mating leopards is an exhilarating experience because of just how aggressive and noisy it is. They're always moving around, constantly walking, and it's often the female that instigates the mating bouts. She'll go up and sign up to the male, causing him to then start to mate, and when he dismounts, that's the aggression or a lot of the growling, and it can be quite a vicious affair. I hope you've enjoyed this little morning trip with the Maxim's male and the Piccadilly female. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, that helps us keep you in the loop with all the new content that we are releasing. And like the video, drop a comment below, tell us what else you're wanting to see, and I'll do my best to try and get that out to you. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you all again next week.